Worldwide, about 10% of pregnant women and 13% of women who have just given birth experience a mental disorder, primarily depression. In developing countries, this is even high. It could get to as high as 15.6% during pregnancy and 20% after childbirth. In severe cases, mothers' sufferings may be so severe that they even might consider committing suicide. Yep. In addition, the affected mothers cannot function properly, and as a result, the children's growth and development may be negatively affected as well. Maternal mental disorders are treatable and they need to be addressed, and that's what we're talking about today with the mental health advocate Swabra Osman Ali. Tell us about postpartum depression. What is it? Where did it come from? And then how do you start identifying it?
Oh, well, postpartum depression normally happens after you've given birth, and it's because of the hormonal changes that are going on in your body. So most people don't understand it. So you could be depressed, loss of interest, things you used to love to do, you're crying, you have anxiety, you're not sleeping, you're not able to cope, you're not able to bond with your child because of the things that are going on with you mentally. But because we come from a society where these things are not talked about. It's like, what is the issue? You should be happy. You've just given birth. You've been blessed with this beautiful bundle of joy. Exactly,
because birth is a joyful occasion.
It's a joyful
occasion. Why are you sad?
You're sad because of the hormonal imbalances. You go through a lot as a mother giving birth. It's not just it's a 9-month journey. And then you could also have gotten through a traumatic birth experience. Because I remember for myself, when I gave birth to my first child, I came back home and I was sad. I was, anxious. I was worried about this new thing that I have to take care of, and I don't know how to begin.
A whole human being.
Yeah. And you don't know where to begin. And thank God I had support. I had my mother who was there for me. I had my husband who was there for me. I had my family who was there for me. So can you imagine a mother who's going through postpartum depression and does not have anyone to deal with it, or does not have anyone to talk to? So I was sad. I was ill. I was not feeling well. I was depressed. I was crying. I would lock myself in the bathroom and I would cry and come out, and people are visiting me and I'm laughing and smiling, but mentally I was not doing well. But also because I also had health issues, and you don't realize because you don't talk about it.
We talk about postpartum depression. You said one of the causes, of course, is hormonal imbalance. Do you have any other causes that leads to the depression? And also, we could take us through, is there like a precedence of mental health issues, or it just starts after birth?
Okay, so for some people who develop postpartum depression, most of them have a pre-existing mental condition that was not addressed. And if it's normal to be sad. You can be sad, but it goes away. You're not constantly sad. But if you're sad for more than 2 weeks and feeling depressed for more than 2 weeks, then we're dealing with another issue.
Sad more than 2 weeks.
Sad and anxious for more than 2 weeks. We're dealing with another issue. We're dealing with depression now. So varying sadness up and down, that's normal. You're able to cope with it. You're able to cope with the stresses. Like me, for example, I can tell you, I was able to cope with it because I had family.
Support
system. Some people don't have that. Some people don't have a support system. So there are so many issues that could lead to postpartum depression. For example, we have single mothers. You've given birth, your man is not there. You've given birth, you're dealing with, economical issues, poverty. People in vulnerable communities, people who don't have anything, and you have this child, and then when you hear someone gave birth and left their baby, and was not able to care for that child. But what led that mother to do that? And what can we do to support mothers so that they don't go through that? So we need to find solutions at community level, the most vulnerable communities.
I'm just thinking, because we're talking about the mother's side, so I have a question also. What about
I knew it was good to get there.
What about the paternal side, the fathers? Do the fathers also get affected with this whole process?
Yes, of course. As we say in Albania, the infected affect. So if I'm a mother, I'm not coping.
I love that.
I'm overwhelmed. I have anxiety. I'm not sleeping. I'm not able to have relationships. How is that affecting my husband? Yeah, so it also affects fathers on the other end, because they have to deal with you.
Yeah.
And most of them also don't understand what this woman is going through. So we need to educate both our fathers and our mothers. Like, when you give birth, utaenda through issues.
Yeah.
Utakuwa depressed. So how does your man help you? Not when the baby is crying, anakwambia we beba huyu mtoto wako uende ukalale naye huko because mimi naenda job kesho. You understand? So we need to understand.
But job.
No. But that's where support comes in.
Yeah.
That's where support comes in. Yes, it affects them, but how do we deal with it that we have better relationships? Because if we have a better relationship, then our kids will grow up in a good family.
They will.
A healthy mother, a healthy child, a healthy relationship.
So can it skip a child? You have 3 children.
Yes.
You said you experienced it a bit of it when you had your firstborn. Can you not experience it for your second and then it comes back in the third?
I can tell you for sure, when I had my daughter, I didn't even know I was pregnant.
Your second born?
My second born.
You didn't know?
Of course I knew I was pregnant, but I would not, I didn't have those, anxiety issues and whatever. I was so chilled. I was so chilled. And she's also very chilled. And that's why I'm saying, whatever you go through as a mother affects the child. Because my older son, he's like, hey, muoga.
Yeah.
He's scared of so many things. And that's how I was when I was pregnant with him. I was terrified of everything. I would not, I was fear for this child. Like,
100%.
How am I going to deal with this human being?
Yeah.
So he also has those issues of muoga. Like, he will not get into risks. And my daughter is chilled, will do anything.
That's the second one. And then you came and gave us a superstar.
And then I came and gave you a footballer.
Mr. Ayub himself, I'll be saying hello in a bit. How was that with carrying Ayub?
Ayub was easy, and he's an easy child.
He's an easy child.
Only after now, when because I had a C-section with him. So after the C-section, then I was in pain. I was, didn't know what to, just all those things. But
so, out of curiosity, so does it mean the mother's mental state also affect the personality of the child?
It does,
and it starts from when the child was in the womb.
Yes, it does.
Fantastic. So all the way.
It affects the child.
It makes a lot of sense.
It affects the child.
Yeah.
Because with Adnan, my first child,
yeah.
I was, those mothers of unamshika hapa, we don't want anybody, you're so paranoid about anything that will happen to him.
Yeah.
And he's like that. We call him the scaredy pants. Like, he would not do it. So it affects. Mental health of the mother affects.
So him, akiitwa maandamano by Raila, he'll not be there for sure.
Trust me, he will be there.
What?
Because he's a big Raila fan. Trust me, he will be there.
I didn't see that one coming. You did not. And you mentioned that one way is that if you're sad for more than 2 weeks or 2 weeks going forward, that could be one telltale sign that you're dealing with depression, right? How do you differentiate between depression, just being sad, baby blues, when you just have a new child and you don't know what's going on in this world, and also just new mom stress? You've used to being 2 of you in the house or 1 in the house. Now you have more people.
You
have a nanny. You have someone who's crying endlessly. And as much as try and soothe them, you can't give them coffee. I mean, how do you deal with that?
Why would we be giving them coffee?
To help them calm down. Just relax. Relax. I mean, have a shot of espresso.
Okay. So the thing is, what I said earlier, if you're able to cope, yes, you're feeling sad, but you're still able to cope. You're feeling depressed, you're feeling, you have stress coming in, but you're able to release the stress and you're able to find ways of actually dealing with yourself better to help. Like, you have coping skills, you have faith, you have hope, you have trust, you have a support system. So this stress really doesn't build up, right? Because it doesn't build up because you have a way of letting it out. You have a coping mechanism. So you have a high resilience. You're able to cope 100%, even though you're feeling sad, even though you're feeling anxious. But it fluctuates. It's not ongoing. It's not ongoing. But when you're feeling sad and it's ongoing and you're not able to cope and you don't have resilience and you're not able to let this sadness and depression and anxiety, you don't have a way to let it out and to release it out of your body, then we are dealing with depression. We're dealing with distress because it's building up and it's not coming out. It's building up, it's not coming out because you don't have coping mechanisms. So we try to help people build resilience.
Yeah.
Develop tools that will help them understand, okay, I'm dealing with stress. This is how I need to release it. Is it taking time off for myself? Even if for 5 minutes, and sitting and just meditating and reflecting and having gratitude.
Yeah.
So if you're not able to do such things and it's building up, before you know it, you're traumatized.
Yeah.
Very true. And I'm just thinking, because we've talked about the causes of postpartum depression, and we talked about hormonal imbalance, we talked about the economic factor, we talked about lack of support system, and also we have a lot of single mothers, teenage mothers as well.
Yes.
Is there a prevention mechanism for one not to get there?
To get to a state where you're not able to cope.
Yes.
So I would promote self-care.
Self-care.
I would promote self-care and also advocate that if you feel like you need help, it's a sign of strength to ask for that help.
It's a sign of strength.
To ask for help.
Yep.
Hey guys, I'm not coping. I'm not able to deal with this situation that I'm currently in. How can how can you guys help me? Ask for help. Yeah? Take time for yourself. Understand what you're going through. Educate yourself. Find a support system. When our parents had babies, those days, they would give birth at home. But they would have a support system. The community would help them raise these children. We don't have that anymore.
Yeah. So, but how do you prepare for that while you're still pregnant? So you're not giving birth and then now all of a sudden you have to make all these new decisions. How do you do that?
And this is what I was talking about during that prenatal period.
Yeah.
When you go for these clinics, I think it is very important not only to ask about the blood pressure, but to also ask about the mental state of this mother.
Yeah. Because I remember also in my prenatal clinics, you just ask, is the baby fine?
Yes.
Are you okay?
Yeah,
That's
checking
it.
the heartbeat of the child.
That's
Not just asking those questions, health issue questions, but also asking about their mental health. How are you coping? How has this changed you? What are you feeling? And also, let's be open to listen to the answers, and let's not be judgmental. Let's not judge the person like ati issues hii ni kawaida, you're pregnant, you'll get over it, ni sawa tu. No, let's really listen and be open for solutions. So it starts from conception, because your body changes. Everything about everything changes. Yeah, everything changes. You have to deal with so much. Your life will change because now you have a new life coming in
that you need to take care of.
You need to cater for and take care of and love and cherish. So if you're not well mentally, and you're not asked these questions, how are you doing mentally? How are you supposed to cope? So that's one way of trying to prevent this. Let's try and see the problem before it becomes too late.
You've talked about self-care, and I'm looking at a mother who's in her early 20s. Self-care for them, they're single parents, and for them, they know they have to take care of this child. Is there even that time of self-care?
You see, that's the thing. If you don't look for help and if you don't ask for help, will you have time for self-care? Self-care is also asking for help, Angie. Self-care is asking for help. For some of us, we can say we were lucky, we had support system. But those single parents who are out there, or teenage mothers who maybe have been kicked out of the home because they got pregnant, and they don't have a support system, they don't have that self-care. But you have to make time for it. Even I've told you before, even if it's sitting down for 2 minutes, and sitting down with yourself and reflecting and having gratitude, and appreciating what you have, and seeking hope and resilience and having faith. That is also part of self-care. Identifying that, I am dealing with something that I'm not able to cope with. How can I help myself?
100%. You said about coping mechanisms. There's some good coping mechanisms, there's some bad coping mechanisms.
For sure.
What are some of either side? What are some really good ones? What are some really bad ones?
Okay, so coping mechanism, the bad ones, I would say, some people take onto drugs, alcohol. You have alcoholic mothers. You have alcoholic fathers because they can't cope and they think this is the solution.
100%.
But that's not really the solution. Those are bad coping mechanisms because you don't have resilience. So for us at Albane, we promote centering yourself. We teach the centering circle. If you come to our offices, we have centering circles everywhere. So what balances you as a human being? Is it your faith? Is it family? Is it work? So it doesn't matter where you are at the circle.
Yep.
It matters the journey you're going, how to get back to your center, how to balance yourself, how to be able to cope from feeling hopeless to being hopeful.
So question, you've mentioned about Albane Institute. So what are the mechanisms that you take, or you take through the mothers or even the fathers, I assume, you take them through, because maybe there's somebody out there who feels, okay, now I have a problem. So what will be different from maybe talking to my friend or speaking to my mother, and my mother just tells me, don't worry, pray, things are going to be okay.
Pray, things are going to be okay.
But also, what is Albane Institute bringing different mechanism to give a solution to that?
Okay. So at Albane Institute, what we do, we of course help people understand stress management and trauma. And we use Paul Boyle methodology. Paul Boyle is our founder, and he developed his methodology that has proven to work, and we use it all over the world. Our trainings are done the same way all over the world. So what we do is, in this methodology, we don't take you back to the cause of trauma. We don't ask you what happened to you. What happened to you when you come to us and you feel like you're traumatized or you're stressed?
Yes.
We don't ask you what happened to you. We don't want to know.
And how will you give a solution to something you do not know where it started?
Let me explain. And we use the mosquito. We tell them, we use the mosquito. So if you go to the doctors and uko na malaria, does the doctor ask you, ebu nionyeshe hiyo malaria hiyo mosquito mekuuma wapi? Show me where the mosquito, come, let's go to your house, let's go look for this mosquito, let's find out where this mosquito bit you. Where was it? Is it in the living room? The doctor doesn't. They ask you, what are your symptoms?
Yes.
So that's what we do at Albane. When you come to ask, we don't ask you what happened to you. As a result of what happened to you, how are you today? So we start from the now.
Yeah.
Wow. We start from the now. And we try and help you to become a better version of yourself from now, not from what happened. And until you're ready to go back to the story, as Paul always says, if you can tell the story and it doesn't bring pain, then you know you are healed. So until then, we don't go back, and only you will be able to tell the story once you've processed, because we believe trauma is stored. Trauma is stored. And when you're traumatized, I was explaining to Angie, the first thing you do is avoid people and places of anything that will remind you of the event.
The triggers,
The triggers.
Yeah.
So you avoid them. Yeah. So until you're able to tell that story, when you've processed it, we don't go back to it.
Is there anything like fear of giving birth? Because there's this thing of first mothers, they have a genuine fear, because we read our Bible and we're told it's going to be painful, it's going to be chaotic. But is it something that that fear, is it real, first of all? And also in terms of also people knowing that it's okay. It's okay. Speak to that young mother right there who's pregnant and just about to give birth.
Okay. Like we always say at Albane Institute, we heal through telling stories. And I'm going to tell you my story. When I got pregnant with my first child, my first thing was, okay, now this baby has to come out. And I feared. I was terrified. So it is a natural thing to feel like, to be fearful, because it's an event that you have not been through before. So as a young mother, I want you to understand that it is okay what you're going through, what you're feeling. Your feelings are valid, and there is help. Seek help. Understand and let people tell you, yes, it's going to be okay giving birth, it's fine, it's people go through it, but not to invalidate what you're going through. So my whole family knew that I feared this process, and they all supported me.
And what are you fearful of? The pain?
Of course.
What is it? What exactly?
It's the pain. It's the pain. Giving birth is a painful experience.
I'm told it's the most painful thing in the world.
It is it is so painful. And I'm not even going to sit here and lie and say,
100%.
Lakini, ukiwa na support, trust in God that you'll get through it, and also understanding that, yes, this is going to be painful, but I can get through it. I can get through it. Yeah. So don't feel like, I can't talk about it. Talk about it. Educate yourself. Try and learn from other people. And don't compare. Don't compare yourself to someone else. And we do that. We put so much pressure on mothers. So and so went through it and she's okay, so why can't you not be okay? No, you don't know what so and so went through it because she's not talking about it. Yeah.
So, but someone is asking, I don't feel bonded or attached to my baby. Am I a horrible mom?
You're not.
What is that about?
You're not a horrible mom. If you don't feel bonded or attached to your baby, you need to seek help, because that's not what I'm talking about. When it lasts for more than 2 weeks, then we know we are dealing with a problem. We are dealing with depression. Yeah. You're not a terrible mom. Nobody's a terrible mom. It is the circumstances that we are in. So we need to seek help for that person who's feeling like, I'm not bonding with my child. You need help. You need intervention. You need someone to help you have resilient tools and someone to help you have coping mechanisms so that you're able to bond with that child. So she's not a terrible mom.
The question is, who do I talk to and where do I get them? Okay,
so now we need to advocate for the most vulnerable. And we should have health centers. We should have the way you go to the clinics, like I mentioned earlier on.
Yeah.
That we have people who are trained to identify mental health issues. You can come to Albane Institute. Where we make sense out of nonsense. Help you understand that.
Break that down. And first, where are you located?
We are located in Runda.
Okay.
156A Runda Drive. So we make sense out of nonsense. We give you resilience tools. We help you understand who Angie is. We help you understand who you are as a person, where you're meant to be. Because we believe everybody should lead this beautiful life.
Yeah.
We all should experience a beautiful life. And it all starts
up here
mentally. Yeah. We always, Paul always says there's an analogy that he uses. It for us is to make our clients safe mentally and not safe on their seats. So you need to have a safe mind so that your environment becomes safe.
100%.
100%. So we make sense out of
nonsense.
How do we do it? Through giving you tools to help you deal with stress and manage your trauma and manage your life.
Do you have an online option in case I can't come physically? Is there a way I can get help online?
You can get help. You visit our website. You can get help online. We have sessions, online sessions. We have workshops. If you cannot come physically, there's a way we can train you. Online. Especially during COVID, we realized that that's possible.
Yeah.
We can do training online. So we do workshops online.
Okay.
Yeah, we have one that we did for burnout. That we did it online. So there's a lot of things that we do, and there's a lot of things that need to be done, and it's good that we're talking about it now so that people understand there are places that they can seek help. You can go somewhere and get help.
Yeah.
You are not crazy.
Yeah.
So Swabra, maybe just one more final question. What are some of the policies that Albane Institute is advocating for? Because there's the aspect of the mothers, of the fathers, but there's also the community where the two live in. So in fact, we were just making a joke earlier on off air that sometimes you're told, hey, kwani wa kwanza, do this, you will come here and you tender, because we've been there, done that.
We've been there, done
there's also that sensitization also for the community.
So what we encourage at Albane, and what Paul always encourages, is healing through groups. So healing through the community. Yeah. So we understand and we put policies and advocate for mental health within the community. Yeah. Training leaders to be able to identify that so and so is going through issues. And in Kenya, we can use the Nyumba Kumi initiative. Yeah. So not only to check out kuona shida iko wapi as far as, because it was introduced during terrorism,
for safety,
but shida iko wapi as far as mental issues are concerned, so that we don't hear on the news someone butchered a whole entire family. Where was the community? So we should be able to identify these issues. Mental health is a problem that we are dealing with. We are dealing with mental health. So we should be able to talk about it and remove the stigma. Let's talk about it so we can help each other heal. Let's heal through communities. Let's bring, positivity through communities.
96.9 FM, Pearl Radio.